Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Star Wars 501st Legion Clone Troopers set. This is set number 75280. It has 285 pieces and I paid $40 for this set. So this set is from a couple of years ago. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but I do know that it's retired. And part of the reason I wanted this is because I guess probably only a couple of years ago, maybe 2020 or something like that. Part of the reason I wanted this is because this includes a version of a BARC speeder rather. And not too long ago I looked at the BARC speeder Escape, and that was a new set. This one is, kind of based on the Clone Wars and is pretty unique in that it has like a walker here. I'm not sure specifically what kind it is. And on the BARC speeder, and you get kind of a battle pack assortment here, and it reminded me a little bit of the more recent battle pack that has the super battle droids and kind of the spider droid and things of that nature, and then a smaller like speeder bike. And this retailed for $30. It was actually on the shelves for a long time, from maybe 2020 to maybe 2023, which is pretty long. I think the market price is maybe less than $40, but it's kind of around there. It's maybe in the 30 plus, 35, 36, 37, 38, and used it goes for a lot too. So even if it's not just brand new, this is sealed. I didn't have this shipped to me. I was able to pick this up at a store near me, and so I did pay a little extra than if I went through an aftermarket thing, but I'm kind of okay with that. And this is one I've really been looking at for a while, and I'm excited to finally be able to build this. So in this video I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. While I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy! Okay, so while we look at the build for this LEGO Star Wars 501st Legion Clone Trooper set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, you can give money to the channel here on YouTube. There's a Patreon link in the description. There's also a link to buy me a coffee. All that stuff really, really helps, so thank you very much. And then I wanted to talk about the build. So there's only 2 bags of pieces in here. There are a couple stickers here. The first kind of major build we're working on is this BARC speeder. That's one of the main reasons I wanted this set, to kind of compare it to the more recent BARC speeder that came out, the BARC speeder Escape set. We also had the couple battle droids as well as a couple clone troopers there, and I really liked putting this BARC speeder together. I thought it looks pretty good. I like the color blocking a lot. And then we work on the second bag of pieces, which does have a couple more of the figures in this set, and then we start working on the ATRT. Now this really surprised me. We start kind of in the hip region, add a little bit of details there, and then we can start working for the kind of the top, the cockpit, so to speak. And this had some interesting techniques, a lot of bracket usage here, flipping some different stuff around, which is great. Add the control panels and the handlebar and everything, as well as kind of some details up front, using again more brackets and a hinge and everything there. Then we can add the antenna on the back, and after that we can start working on the legs. The legs are using a lot of ratchet joint pieces, so not a ton of articulation, and I do cover that in the full review. Finish up with the feet and add these last couple disc pieces to round it out, and that's it. So now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is this LEGO Star Wars 501st Legion Clone Troopers set. This is pretty awesome. I had a lot of fun building this, and I'm really glad I was able to pick this up. I know it's not that old of a set, and it was a set that was probably around for a long time. It just isn't one that I ever had, and super grateful that I was able to find this. And so there's kind of a lot to look at, and we'll get right into it. And the first thing we will look at is the minifigures, because you do get some. This is sort of a battle pack type set, even if it had, you know, that $30 retail price here, which is actually similar to some of the other like Lego Star Wars stuff that has come in the last couple years since this one came out. And I'm actually going to start with non-minifigures, but two figures. These are battle droids. You get two of these, very basic. They're just the classic battle droid. So tan, you know, 5 parts each plus the accessories, so 6 parts. They have the blasters there, so they have the one arm with the alternating clips there, and then they have the other arm that has the slight bend where the clips are going the same way. And then you do get extra arms, 1 extra of each, so you could switch those around should you want to. So we do get a couple battle droids here, which are really cool. And then this is called the 501st Legion Clone Troopers, so you do get 4 minifigures that are 501st Clone Troopers here. And we'll look at these two first just because they are the same. A lot of these are very similar, but they're not quite exactly. So these have kind of the same blaster that the battle droids had. It's kind of that mid-length one, or something there. And then these two are identical, so they're also these helmets predate the hole in the side of the helmet for different accessories that you might get, like the comms things or the visor. So I think so. I think that's what that means. So the helmets are really good, molded well. They feel like they're appropriately sized, and they have the nice kind of blue 50 or purple, no, blue 501st marking. I'm going to go with blue, and the printing on there is pretty good. It's a little bit, it's not perfectly centered. There's a little bit of gap between the white kind of ridge that's molded in there and the one side there, so they're not perfectly done, but they're pretty good. And there's not really printing on the back of the helmet for these. There is that little bit of printing kind of underneath there. Overall, pretty good helmets. Underneath we have Clone Trooper heads, which they are all identical. Good to get those. And then the torsos are the same across several of these as well. So again, we get the kind of the specialized torso for 501st, different panels of the armor, utility belt in here, some good details in there. Nothing on the midsection. Legs, we do have printing up at the top, middle, and down onto the feet there. Same over here. Nothing on the arms, back of the torso there. Pretty standard Clone Trooper torso, but good detail, I would say. The next one you get is identical in every way, except for they have like the longer blaster there. So this part is longer, and then we add a candlestick on the end. So they're not called out as a specialist or anything, but they do have that slightly different accessory. Other than that, they are the same. And then the fourth one you get here is the one that's kind of unique, and that is this Jet Trooper here. So this one again has kind of that medium length blaster there as an accessory. Helmet is identical, face underneath there is identical, but the torso is different. So right off the bat we can see different color arms here. We have the blue arms, and we have different patterning up here. So the blue is different. It doesn't have that kind of, upside down Y looking part here, or upside down V. It has just kind of these upper panels up there. The legs are the same, no printing on the midsection. And then this is a Jet Trooper, so it comes with a jetpack piece here, which is in the blue color, which is nice. I will take this off so we can see the back of the torso. The back of the torso does have some differences as well. So again, kind of that extra blue up around the top. I think I saw that maybe this was exclusive to this set. I'm not positive if that's the case anymore. It may be, it may not be. So let me see if I can double check here. So this is the Phase 2 501st. Yeah, I mean, apparently this is only in this set. There are probably other Jet Troopers or other 501st ones. I'm not 100% sure, but this seems to be like the exclusive figure there. And part of the deal is, yeah, the different printing on the torso, the different arms, as well as the inclusion of the jetpack. And these are all of the figures. So you get 4 clone troopers, one that's the Jet Trooper, couple that are identical, which is fine for clones, with slight differences in accessories. You also get the 2 battle droids, so kind of 6 figures, kind of less than that. For this figure, maybe is worth a couple bucks now. I don't know if the thing to do would be to like put these all at $5 per piece, but I think that's sort of what Lego might have been counting them as. These would be a little bit less because they don't have any like printing on the face or anything special really about these. Battle droids aren't worth too much, but we do get 6 figures in here that are like playable characters, I feel like. So that is really that's really good. Does have that kind of battle pack feel to it. And then the rest of the set is in these 2 builds. So the first one you build is this BARC speeder. So right out of the gate, compared to the one we looked at, the BARC speeder escape set, you know, the color scheme is pretty different. This one also does not have the sidecar on it, so it doesn't have that, but I think it's pretty recognizable as the BARC speeder, and I actually think this is pretty cool. It was an enjoyable build for the most part. There are stickers in this set, and I'll kind of point those out as we go through here. So sticker up front right there, sticker on the back. There's actually 3 on this piece, so on the side, on the slope, and on the other side there. And I think those may be all the stickers on this one. The rest of them might be on the other one there. So we do have the seat area here, which is good. We can get a figure on there. They could grab hold of these you know, the handlebars here, and I kind of liked how they did this. They didn't use a typical like handle piece. You kind of made one with a bar element and these kind of droid arms, or like gonk droid arms, I feel like, but not, I don't know. And then the kind of like megaphone or flashlight, smaller piece here, spout, that they use for syncs a lot and different things. So we use those. So you can kind of move these independently and line those up, which I think is pretty good. It looks good on the seat here, no problem. I wanted to say they were going to have, you know, spots for this to have, you know, to hold the accessories, and it doesn't appear to be the case. We do have these clips here, and we do use those medium blasters as well as a black hilt piece there, but those are just part of the BARC speeder, maybe kind of some greebling like details, and so there isn't really a spot for an accessory to be on here. We do have kind of these same elements used on the side as the more recent one, these kind of smaller minifigure skis or whatever. Those are on either side. These whole sub-assemblies are good. They attach with some Technics, so you can kind of see that bushing in there. It's 2 studs wide for almost all of it. The main core of the body is 2 studs wide. There is a lot of use of jumpers to kind of get that down, like same at the rear there. I think this is okay here. This kind of angle feels about right. I do like the use of the Nexonite shield, and I like how the look of the front end as well as how coming down to here. We have the same kind of piece with that one like joint piece kind of going through that handlebar piece up front in order to kind of get that look. There's a couple stud shooters on the front, so we can see those. They have these red translucent studs in them. They're the older style ones here, and we attach those on just underneath the skis there. And that's kind of everything for this. You know, it does stand on its own really, really well. It can slide around, doesn't have any inverted tiles or anything, but there's not a ton of friction because the surface area that touches the ground or a play surface is, you know, slightly minimal compared to the overall thing here. I think the profile of this is pretty good. Lengthwise, I want to say this is probably similar. I could compare it to the newer one. I'd have to see where that one is. I'm not sure where I kept it, but if I can't find that by the end of recording this video, then I'm just kind of going off my estimation, and it feels about similar. It's just that, you know, without the sidecar, it is a little bit different, except like especially when looking top down, we don't have a space for another like clone person on this, so that is a little bit of a bummer. I'm not sure if the Jet Trooper can realistically pilot this with the jetpack on, so it does not appear to be the case, but overall I think this is still really serviceable. It uses up about half of the pieces in the set roughly, not totally, but it's close. And so this is like the whole first bag of pieces, as well as the 2 droids and 2 clones, and that's kind of the whole first bag. And then the other part of this set, the other main part, is this I believe a ATRT, or what is this? Yeah, I think this is an ATRT. And so this is just kind of a smaller walker here, and I really, really enjoyed this build. I did not think I would as much as I did, so I'm very happy with this. And we start by building kind of the like, I don't know, cockpit area, or where the operation is, so we can see where a figure can sit in here. The color blocking on this is all really, really nice, and there's tons of good details. The build for this was really interesting. The first thing you start to build is what I'm going to call kind of this waist area here with these Technic plates in it. You can see a little bit of a Technic axle kind of peeking out under there. So we start by building that, and then we start working on the upper part, which has like one of those step pieces holding a bunch of stuff together. There's a lot of brackets used in here, brackets on the front, which is really, really good. This has headlight bricks that are, you know, back to back. We put a bar element all the way through those, and then we clip on or we add on those kind of robot arms and another bar there. This angle is very nice. Color blocking throughout is really, really good. These can be articulated, these kind of antenna back there, but I like the asymmetry of that. It feels appropriate. And then we kind of build up the front. So if you look at it from the top down, we do have the handlebar here. We do have the printed kind of control panel. We use one of these interesting pieces. It's kind of it's like a 1x2 plate, and then like it angles off and has kind of a hollow stud in there, and then we put those gray like eye pieces on there as well, and that like fills in a lot of the space here, which I think is quite nice. I really like how this all comes together up front, because it feels like there's pretty minimal gapping. And I want to see, this flag isn't clipped on all the way. There we go. I really like how these flags kind of come together here, so that's really good. There are stickers on this one, so looking at those on the flags here, there are stickers that say 501, which is very cool. We also have stickers on the legs down here, and then the rest are kind of up front there. But I really like how this whole assembly comes together. It is using brackets kind of throughout here. We use a hinge to kind of close up that angle and get that nice kind of angularity for the face of this, using some modified plates with the bar there, the flags. We do use a like hitch piece with the ball joint. So again, we attach the older style kind of stud shooter there, and that does allow for it to have pretty good range of good range. You can move this a lot. You can get it like all the way over to one side. You can go pretty much straight down. The only real limitation is up. So if this were to be firing at something way above this, it can't really do that unless you work with kind of the legs here. And then speaking of the legs, we can kind of look down there, and these are built pretty much identically. The legs themselves are just mirrored left and right. The feet are the same. I was really surprised by this because I did not expect this to be as well balanced as it is, and so that's a real win for me. I don't know exactly how much that extends beyond like how this is oriented originally, and we do have some limitations to like how far forward these legs can go. So if I'm back here, I'm trying to see, so I don't know if there's a great way to kind of get this in a walking pose that makes a ton of sense. Let me see here. It's a little bit difficult, but these use some of these like ratchet joint brick pieces, these 1x4s. Just connect those up here and down here. So the back of this doesn't look great. Maybe could have used those inverted tiles, the 1x3 even could have filled in some of that there. And so we have those. The studs are under here. These are very simple. There's not a ton like that goes into the bulk of them. They are just pretty much one stud wide for everything there. And then we build the feet. I did like how the feet were done. They do have a pretty good footprint, so they are pretty stable there, and I do like that. I like how these kind of come together, kind of had that toe almost piece in there, which is very cool. And I'm just amazed at how well balanced this is. We do add on kind of these disc pieces at various points to kind of give it more the appearance of kind of joints, sort of, and it also just works for what this is trying to represent. So those are all really good, but overall the legs are very basic, pretty rudimentary, but they serve this well. It is really well balanced kind of as is, but we are limited with motion. So even though these are on like ratchet joints kind of all the way down, because we have this slope here, it can only really move forward like one click, which I guess can get us here. So the feet are a little offset, which is good. I think that's pretty good. We can move the other one up as well, kind of get it like that. But we can't bring these too far forward. We can't bring these too far forward, again, because these bricks are kind of interacting there, and we can't go too far with the feet either. So they have this vented slope piece, so they only have a little bit of kind of articulation there. We can get really flat, like laid out like this, which I don't know how useful that is. It's not at all. It looks a little bit silly, but you can get that. And then you can you can't really get these straight up, so they're almost always going to have a bit of a bend. And to really get the look of like walking action, I want to see if we can balance this out some way. And it seems a little bit difficult here. I'm not sure if it's doable. So there's kind of limited space here. If there are modifications that can be made, or if I'm just missing something here, that would be good to know. In terms of the kind of range of motion for the blaster up front, the kind of stud shooter there, if you were trying to shoot something very far above this walker, I think theoretically we can kind of angle this up, and I don't know how stable it will be, but we could angle this up a ways. That's not super stable, but this is angling up, and then theoretically you could go kind of all the way back to that. You'd have to have some counterweight here. We can't really do too much to prevent that. If I get it like this, we're running into a little more collision here, but we can almost get this to fire straight up, so then it would look like that. I still think it looks pretty good. I don't think that would ever come into play in universe, nor do I think it is super crucial for play, but I do like to try to see here, and it does address maybe a potential limitation of this up front. We do have clips on this one, so we do have this like special piece. It's in a lot of Star Wars sets, clipped on the back. We have another clip here. Theoretically, those could hold minifigure accessories and stuff. Again, there's really only one place for a figure to operate this, so I think the jet trooper can kind of fly around on their own because they are a jet trooper. One can be piloting the BARC speeder, one can be piloting the AT-RT, and then the other one can maybe be on the ground or something there. The box for this does kind of have this in a sort of walking pose, but again, there was that one where the feet were offset, which is pretty good. I mean, that if that's the extent of it, I think it looks right when it's like that. Doesn't look too bad, and there's a little bit of movement there to kind of get into the play of this all, and even just posing it kind of in motion, I feel is pretty good. I just think this is really, really well built, well designed. Color blocking is really on point. Stickers, sure, didn't really bother me too much, and it's fun, and it doesn't feel like it should work as well as it does, but the balance here is really worked out nicely, and there are limitations, but some of that is because they want it to just be able to build and stand up without having to kind of really mess around with it to get it to a relatively stable position. So I think that's really good, and that's kind of the main stuff that is in this set. I'll show the extra pieces because you do get some. I do have the red stud in here, and we get the two over here, and I want to say there's a third one, so you get 3 extras, an extra each for the BARC speeder blasters or stud shooters, and 1 extra for this. And then of course you do get an extra one, another extra one in the extra pieces here, pretty small. The trigger mechanism, all your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles, bar element in there, slopes, the black hilt. So all of those are extra pieces, as well as the droid arms here. So that is good. And this set is 285 pieces, and I paid $40 for it. So 285 pieces for $40, maybe not great. I feel like that's not unheard of in like a 4+ kind of line or something like that. It's honestly not terrible. I think $30 for this, even just a couple of years ago in 2020, $30 seems pretty good, I would say. So I don't know if this would be $30 in 2024 or 2023 even. I'm not sure if this did have a price increase, because I think prices did go up between 2020 and 2023, so it could have been that this was on the shelf when the price increase happened, but I'm not positive on that. And I think the retail probably was pretty good for this, considering the amount of figures. Two vehicles here, which are substantial. I mean, I would say both of these could be in their own set, whether it's $10 for this one and $15 for this one or something like that. That doesn't seem unreasonable to me right now with like modern pricing schemes. So overall, I feel like that's pretty good value. And if that's 25 right there, or however that breaks down, plus the figures, I feel good about what the retail price is. I got this for $40. It was sealed, and what is retired. It's not super far removed from production, so it hasn't been retired for a lot, but I think this is a relatively popular set for people who want to like get a bunch of 501st troopers and have some of these vehicles here. Overall, I think this is really good. I'm not too worried about the price I paid. I think market price, is around the $35 to $40 range. Some might be going for even more than that, 50 plus or something, depending on where a person looks. So I think I'm okay with this. Didn't have to pay for shipping, didn't have to like wait or anything for it, and it was in really great condition, sealed. So I'm happy with that, and I think I got a fair deal. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was a $40 set, like out the gate, if it was on the shelves now. And I think that's I think that's pretty good then. I mean, the BARC speeder escape, you get the BARC speeder plus the sidecar, you get a couple figures in there. But this is like a whole extra thing. I think that one retailed for $30. Its piece count is probably somewhat similar, but compared this to the Paz Vizsla Moff Gideon battle, I mean, that's a $40 retail price now. It does have some maybe more exclusive figures, but not as many figures, depending on how you value the battle droids. That's got 289 pieces. That's a set that's currently available. Has some bigger pieces like ugly rock pieces, I think the smaller ones. I don't know. I haven't looked at that set yet, but it is on my radar, especially if I could get it on sale. But comparing that to this, I feel like this might be a $40 set if Lego were to make it now. And so to get it for that price at like I did, I don't feel bad about it at all. And I think the $30 was probably a pretty good deal. I would love for sets like this to be $30 in 2024 into 2025. I think that's a nice price point for these to be at. It's kind of a battle pack plus. And theoretically, these could have been broken off into their own little like battle packs, sort of, because these vehicles are both super competent, really well done. I like that they go together. This one really impressed me, so very pleased with that. And I think that's it. So great. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Lego Star Wars. There's another set that is advertised in the back of this instruction manual, I think, which I will be looking at. This is cool. There was like a Grievous one here and different stuff for these sets. I don't know if these are all just kind of battle packs or blister packs or something where you get like a bunch of, I don't really know. But looking at this era of sets that I wasn't getting a ton of, I don't remember what ship this is. That's kind of interesting to me. This Emperor's Throne Room playset kind of looks cool. But I do have this one, which has Ahsoka in there, and I believe more 50, no, not 501st, but some other troopers in there. It does have battle droids that have printing on them. Can't remember the exact name of that set, but 75283. So I will be looking at that in the near future as well. I think that was another one that people really are looking for. That's the AAT, the Armored Assault Tank set. And so if you're interested in that, maybe subscribe and stay up to date. I'm also going to be covering tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Lego videos. And then if you wanted to support the channel and support my videos here by giving money to the channel, you can do that here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. I have a Patreon. It's in the video description. I have a link to buy me a coffee. All that helps support the channel financially. It's not needed, but it does make a huge difference, and I do greatly appreciate it. So thank you very much. Maybe consider checking those things out. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.